Hey everyone, it's Colin. This is a little bit different style of video we're trying today, but you know what? I figured I kind of want to do a more hands-on type thing, and yeah, so we're just gonna roll with it. My whole idea behind this is kind of just an unscripted thought process, more about my experience video, that kind of stuff. So overall, just out overlooking my history with the DS and more of my personal kind of experience with it. So yeah, and like the whole reasoning behind this video is that recently, I don't know, the DS prices have been shooting up and it's actually crazy. The biggest thing is that I've like some sort of nostalgia or something's happening for me in these systems right now, because I'm starting to like remember a lot of the games I used to play and want to go back and play them, or just overall looking at those past experiences I never did actually get to go to and starting to kind of go down that road. And why not start with the one that started all, which this is my DS Lite, which I've had since I was in first grade, I think. I don't know, I was like 6 or 7 when I got this thing on a road trip to Minnesota. And I remember I was so excited. I had to save up like I think $100 for it, and my parents paid for the rest of it. I just got it in the summer, and yeah, no, as you can see, this thing, it's got a couple scratches on that front. Overall, like, yeah, there's some scuffs. I bet those could come off, but overall it's not too bad. It's got some chips in the corners and stuff. The biggest thing is when you open it up, the touchscreen has all the stylus marks because it's a lot of games, and yeah, you can see all the grease from my pudgy little fingers as a child getting all up on the DS. Yeah, the light's doing so much justice for that. But overall, it's not in too terrible condition. I still have the GBA slot on mine, which is surprising. The stylus is here too. Actually, that's definitely not the original one. I definitely lost a couple. Overall, not too shabby for a child console, I would believe. Still works pretty fine. The battery life on these suckers, though, let me tell you. Battery life is, I don't think I've charged this thing in years, and it still fucking powers on, and yeah, we get that DS chime. It's a little bright, hold up. But you can still see in that top right there, full battery. Still has the correct date. It is the 16th. The time is a little off, I want to say. I can't see my clock from here. I think it's like 20 minutes off or something, but overall, pretty damn impressive. So apart from this guy, I just kind of want to go through my first 2 games I remember getting on that car trip. And it's nothing you would think that'd be important. Like, I swear to God, this DS, I had like none of the games all the people were playing. Like, my sister had a DS before me, and she had Mario Kart. Like, actually, I think that's really the only big game we had that a lot of people played. But like my first games, parents got me Ben 10, Alien Force. I remember very little about this game. It's a side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up thing where you kind of get to play as Ben 10 and all those different aliens of the sort. And yeah, they kept the case for him, my parents did, and we have the booklet, so everything's complete in the box with the DS. They stored all these cases. We actually had like these big kind of things with the cartridge holders, so these cases would just stay in my parents' office. So Ben 10 was one. Also Disney Friends. I actually remember playing the shit out of this. It's kind of like Nintendogs in a sense, because you're raising your, I bet that's directly what this is inspired by, but like you're kind of raising these animals, or like Stitch here. He was my favorite one, but yeah, you have Dory, Winnie the Pooh. I think there's a Toy Story one, maybe. I'm not too sure. I know the Lion King's in there, like Simba, and you like get to play games with them and like feed them and give them snacks, all that stuff. It's actually, from what I remember, pretty fun. Here, let's take a look at the booklet real quick, because this game's so weird at the same time, and I actually haven't booted it up in ages, and I know they know, just like Nintendogs or like Animal Crossing, if you haven't seen them in a long time. I don't think I've ever actually looked at this manual before. Damn, this thing looks minty fresh though. On-screen display. Yeah, so you have like adventure map. That's like 3 different locations you go to in each of the worlds. It was actually pretty cool. Characters, I guess they only list 2. But nonetheless, it was pretty fun stuff, especially as a kid. Because, you know, it's just one of those games. I don't know, it's like Nintendogs in a sense. But it wasn't until, like I said, I got this in like first grade. And like, yeah, I played a little bit of Mario Kart DS. I actually have the copy of that over there. But it wasn't until like later, probably until I was in 4th or 5th. So like 3 or 4 years till I actually started like going on YouTube and finding those games that people are playing. I remember New Super Mario Bros. For the DS was one of the big ones. That's like a big one for everyone. And this actually got used from GameStop. You couldn't see the sticker residue there. But yeah, so New Super Mario Bros. I remember I got a Wii, and that was we had the 25th anniversary Mario Red Wii, and it had New Super Mario Bros. Wii as a packing game, and like years later I figured out, oh shit, like there's a New Super Mario Bros. Game on the DS, and I made sure I think it was like 30 bucks at the time, pre-owned, but this one's completely boxed too. It's from GameStop, like I said. I was very surprised. It was back in this era, and I'm sure now if they even still sell fucking DS cartridges, it's hard to get these complete in box, let alone just with the case. The manual's like even more sought after. It's actually my second copy of New Super Mario Bros. The first one I bought from GameStop, it had a ton of corrosion on like the like metal brackets here, and so I was within return policy, so I exchanged it for one they had in the store, and this was the one they had in the store. It was like in way better condition, complete in box, and I was like, I'm so glad I did this, even at the age of like 10 or whatever it was. But that was a big game for me. And then after that, this was the last game I bought for my DS, funny enough, was Mario 64 DS, and this one actually does have the corrosion. You can kind of see the buildup a little bit there. It was a lot worse when I first got it. That just shows how much times I've put this in and out of this DS. But yeah, no, this game was awesome. It was super, super fun. And I just remember being like wowed at it, even though the 3DS had already been out at this point. Like this was like 2011 when I probably got this DS, right? Yeah, the 3DS came out like 2012, I believe. Maybe, no, I think it might have been 2011. But I was still like, this was brand new to me. And I got this game like when I was in 5th grade. I was like 4th or 5th grade. It was like 2016, 2015. And I just remember being wow that I could take this on the go, because I'm like, wow, it's a 3D Mario, kind of like Mario Galaxy. It's just a 3D game I can play on the go. And I got this actually after my buddy brought his 3DS on the bus, and he played Super Mario 3D Land. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like my version of Super Mario 3D Land. I remember thinking this was better at the time, which I could argue, yeah, it still probably is. But yeah, like this is kind of like my mainstays here. Those two games, and then these were the two that really like got me playing it when I was older. And then yeah, I popped in my sister's copy of Mario Kart, which I actually have now quite a bit. She had the blue version of the DS, so that was cool. Red was my favorite color, still is. Yeah, this thing has a special place in my heart. So the GBA slot, I do want to touch on this for a bit. I had no idea what this was for as a kid, and what's funny is I had a ton of Game Boy Advance games that weren't ever bought by me. Like there's a whole bag of DS Game Boy Advance games that my mom somehow got her hands on for free essentially, and like we threw them in with my DS stuff, but we didn't know that like this thing, that's what this cartridge slot was for, and I didn't find that out probably until like roughly that 4th or 5th grade time as well. We didn't have any crazy good Game Boy Advance games like Mission Impossible, Namco Museum Nightclub, I remember, but stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, actually another big game, this is why the stylus is scratched up, is Phineas and Ferb, just called Phineas and Ferb. I do want to go back and play this, because I remember this being actually a lot of fun. I mean, I was a kid, it's probably not going to be as fun now, obviously, but I just remember like Candace was kind of like had like this heat meter essentially, where if you didn't like do what you needed to and get back home before she filled up her meter, she would come after you, and that was kind of annoying. Yeah, like this game requires so much touchscreen stuff with the stylus, and that is like the sole reason why there's so much scratches from the stylus on my bomb screen, which is a little unfortunate now, and that's probably why I haven't played this yet. It's because I don't really want to do that to any of my other systems. I'd have to play it on this one pretty much, which I think I'd be fine with. I mean, it's already fucking can't really get much worse than that. That and also PictoChat. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but PictoChat was really fun. Me and my sister would sit in cars and sometimes and like text each other on that, but like you could draw, and I just remember we would black out this entire thing and with the stylus, and like, yeah, as you can imagine, just going back and forth. I was probably pressing down really hard too, which wasn't necessary, but probably scratched up the screen that way. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my DS Lite. So we'll move on to the 3DS. Now this is not the 3DS I got initially. This is like a Gen 1 Cosmic Black, I believe is what they call the color. Like when the 3DSs were being released, right? And I picked this up pretty recently, I think like last year. Got on a bid war for like, I don't know, like 60 bucks I think what I paid for it, which is like a 3DS now that works and all that stuff. Like pretty dang good. Like this bottom screen doesn't have like any stylus scratches. It's just all smudged up. As you can see, this 3DS is modded. Actually, all my 3DSs are. But yeah, no, this one I was gonna put a capture card on, like use this to capture 3DS footage. But I've realized how damn expensive capture cards are for these systems, and I can't really justify that. So I like the light for the 3D effect. Kind of, I don't know, that's just a nice touch. This definitely feels really premium. The buttons feel really nice. But yeah, I haven't used this thing a whole crazy amount. Like, I've probably played it maybe for an hour or two. I bought it for capture purposes, and now I just kind of have it because I'm like, I don't think I'm going to put a capture card on this thing, especially since they break so much. So just kind of an extra 3DS now that I have. At least I have a first generation one. But yeah, we'll move on to the first 3DS I actually got, which, funny enough, is the like Black Friday edition Mario Black 3DS. They like, if I remember correctly, these were sold for like $99.99, and there was like 10 of them at like each store that they were at, like Walmart, Target. There was only 10 per store, which, think about how many stores there are, right? That's like that's a crazy amount of these that are out there. But these actually go for a solid chunk now. I was looking just curious, like out of curiosity the other day. I think it's like upper 300s, $500 now just for this version of the 3DS because it was like special edition. And yeah, this one's actually a new Nintendo 3DS. And this one you can see no scratches on the bottom screen. I learned my lesson. I got this when I was in 6th grade back in 2016. Christmas of 2016, I believe, is when I got this guy. So quite a bit later. Yeah, there's still all the grease stains and shit. That just happens with black systems. You know, I remember this thing was like awesome to me, right? It's a lot heftier, it just feels good, and it was truly that next generation of gaming for me, like in handheld. I looked at this as like the portable Wii, because like it had a home screen, I had 3D games on there. I was like, getting this thing was super, super cool. And I mentioned 3D Land earlier, but that was the first game I actually ended up picking up. I think I bought this brand new at Walmart. Yeah, so the big thing was 3D Land. I really wanted that, especially after I mentioned like my my buddy who I was on the bus with. He brought his 3DS XL on. He actually had the new Super Mario Bros. 2 Gold Edition 3DS XL. And I remember I saw the 3DS XL. I was like, oh my god, that screen's massive. And I wanted the XL model, but I just wanted 3DS in general. My parents, they would set a budget for $100 was the most I could spend. That was like Christmas Eve gifts and stuff. So whatever they'd get me, I got a budget of $100 for Christmas and $100 for my birthday. And when my Christmas came around, I was probably going to get a Nintendo 2DS because they were like $80 at the time. Normally came with a packing game of Mario Kart, and I was like, well, then I can still get an upgrade and it's going to be in my budget. But I remember I saw this thing in the catalog, and my mom was like, oh, if we can manage to get one of the 10 at our Walmart, then we'll go just get this for you instead. And I remember I'm like, oh, I definitely want the new 3DS. I didn't even know like what the new 3DS was, like all the benefits to it, but I just knew I wanted it. It's the better model than the 2DS. But yeah, I'll go in a little bit in depth right now for those who care about my experience in getting my hands on this. My mom actually brought me to the Walmart on Black Friday. This was the first time I've ever been to Black Friday, and she made me responsible of making sure I grab this off the shelf so she can get it for me for Christmas. So basically, if I didn't get my hands on it, it was my fault I didn't get it. So I remember I went to I was having trouble finding the section they were at because, like, I don't know, I just kind of thought Walmart would have everything structured the exact same as they normally do, but like in their little like racetrack is kind of what you call it in retail. They had all like these different setups for Black Friday, and there's a whole game one, and I saw the PlayStation 4s and the Xbox Ones, but I like couldn't see any 3DSs. But I finally saw them like 10 seconds before like it was like go live, you can grab what you want. I just remember like there was a ton of people going for these, which was weird because I feel like the 3DS wasn't that popular. Like Switch had been announced. Like the Switch was coming out, and I don't know. I feel like it was kind of crazy that people were going for these. I mean, it was a good deal. It was a new 3DS for $100. But yeah, I remember I grabbed the one really quick, and I got my hands on one, and I had to wait till Christmas knowing that's what I'm getting. And that was like the Black Friday. That felt like forever, but it was only like a month now. Now as an adult, that time just flies like that, right? But yeah, no, so that was kind of how I obtained this guy. My first game was Super Mario 3D Land. I remember with some Christmas money I got, I ended up going to GameStop yet again. See, I bought this brand new, apparently. for $20, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. If I'm not gonna lie to you, mainly the reason I wanted to get this game was because you could control the camera with the C-stick, so it would feel like my Xbox. But no, like Monster Hunter 4 is a really, really fun game. Yeah, like I got this game, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I haven't played any other Monster Hunters since this though, but I do want to go back and play this. This is one of the ones I remember fondly. I play it online too with some people. Not like friends, just like the random people you can meet in the lobbies. I guess now the servers are shut down, so you can't really do that. But, you know, that was a big thing for me. And I do remember, like, yeah, probably later in the year. I say later in the year. Probably when my birthday rolled around, which birthday's in January. It's like January 29th. Christmas is December 25th. You know, it was a whole month, and I was ready for new games. For my Christmas, I wished for more games. My birthday, I got like the Amazing Spider-Man, which I thought was really cool because it was like the same version as the Wii game. I got a couple games. There was like Transformers. It was still all those like kid games, I think. But when I came around to buying, like when I got money for that birthday, I decided to buy Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS, as you can see there. And yeah, I was a big fan of Smash Bros. Brawl, and this had like, everyone had Sonic still. I remember I was a Sonic main to my core. But yeah, I was super, super hyped that I could play Smash Bros. On the go. Like, that was something my old DS could never do, and something I really wanted. So I was super duper duper excited about Smash Bros. On the 3DS, and I played a ton of this. I can actually, let me go in while kind of talking here to my activity log. I was really excited to get Smash Bros. Because I like played Brawl all the time. Me and my friends always played it. I didn't realize how much more fun I had with my friends, though, until I had on my 3DS, because I didn't play it with anyone. I played online a little bit there again, too, back when online was a nice free privilege, so that was really fun. I remember taking it to the airport and stuff like that and playing online there. Okay, I've only played 18 hours, and I guess that's still a big chunk of time, especially now. It's like, when do I have time to spend 18 hours to play a game? Played it 53 times, average play time is 21 minutes. First played, oh wait, no, this says December 28th, 2016. I guess this was one of the first. I bought this at GameStop along with Monster Hunter. I misremembered that. Wow. Okay, so this was one of the games I bought after Christmas alongside this. I'm curious now what games I bought after that. Super Mario Maker I bought middle of January in 2017, so that was shortly after. That's what it was. I didn't buy Super Smash Bros. This is what I got mixed up. Metroid Prime Federation Force. Like I said, I had liked the Xbox, I liked Halo. So I'm like, oh, a first-person shooter on my 3DS and it has the second nub? So I was not a fan of touchscreen controls with like first-person shooters and stuff like that, even at that time, like as a kid. I remember I saw Metroid Prime Federation Force, and I was like, oh, this looks really, really cool. I've only played it for 3 hours, 36 minutes. I bought it at a full price, $40. Average playtime was 14 minutes. Like, I did not like this game, and this is also one I want to go back to, because it also doesn't have a lot of, I don't know, it doesn't have a good reputation. At all. But yeah, so like I was so excited for this first person shooter on my 3DS, and I just remember like it not being that good. And it was very similar to Halo, right? There's aliens and stuff. I'm oversimplifying both of these franchises, but like that was my mindset as a kid. And yeah, so I was really excited about that. Like I said, the main game here was you can even see The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. I was following heavy on the Nintendo Switch at this point, and I was deciding what console I was going to get. It was either going to be a PS4 or a Nintendo Switch. And I was sold on the Nintendo Switch for the longest time. The thing with the Nintendo Switch was that like you couldn't buy it anywhere. You could not buy the Nintendo Switch anywhere. It was unavailable for months, and I had the money saved up and I wanted something now, and I saw the Days of Play Gold PS4, so I went and bought that. Right after I bought my PS4, I remember we went on a trip to Europe, and I had some money that I saved up for the trip. I think from a garage sale we sold stuff. I wasn't a big souvenir guy. I still am not really. Like, I don't really care. So when I went there, I was like, oh, I have this money. Let's buy a new 3DS game. Because I'm like, I don't know. We were there for 2 weeks going all these places. And I was like, I want a new game to play. Because I already 100% completed Super Mario 3D Land, which I remember that was really fun and cool. But yeah, I remember seeing Breath of the Wild. That was like the whole reason I wanted to switch. I thought Breath of the Wild looked so cool. And so I was like, Zelda franchise, I'll get Ocarina of Time. And now, like, Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time are very different games, but I really liked Ocarina of Time, and as you can see, it ended up being my most played in, like, my 3DS game. 104 hours and 28 minutes. I played this game so many times. 91 times played, an average play time of 1 hour and 8 minutes. Like, I was obsessed with this game. And yeah, like, I didn't even beat the Master Quest. I still haven't beaten the Master Quest. All that playtime is just in different normal playthroughs of Ocarina of Time. So I remember thinking that was the best thing ever, and that was, yeah, June 20th of 2017. And I just remember after that, I was like, oh man, Zelda's really cool. I knew there was Majora's Mask, but I never ended up buying that, and I still need to play through that. Like, I still haven't played through that to this day. Yeah, that was, like, probably my biggest memory was Ocarina of Time 3D with this console, and I just has a lot of fond memories there. And I also got Retro City Rampage. Oh, I got this right before the trip as well. This was 5 days before Ocarina of Time. I was like, oh, it's like a big GTA clone. And I remember, yeah, I liked Ocarina of Time so much, I bought A Link to the Past on Virtual Console. I played it for 10 hours. I did not think I would have played for 10 hours, but you know what? I got past like the first 3 dungeons, and I think I just got lost, and I was like, this isn't the same, so I stopped. But yeah, if I go over to Minecraft here, I remember this was a big one. Yeah, Christmas Eve of 2017, I got Minecraft for the new Nintendo 3DS exclusive, and I remember being so hyped about this, because, you know, I'm a 7th grader at this point. I still like Minecraft a lot. Like, it's past its heyday for me. But yeah, like, I just remember Minecraft, nice, because I didn't have a Switch yet, and, you know, going back to it, I didn't like touchscreen controls, and the only way to play Minecraft portably for me was on the Pocket Edition, which I played a whole lot, but I just remember I wanted something more, and when this came out, I was super duper excited. I started this whole world, and, like, yeah, I played a lot of Minecraft. 35 hours worth. Average playtime of 33 minutes. I just remember I really liked this version of Minecraft, and it's probably the worst version looking back, and it has a lot of frame rate issues, but at the time you just don't really care about that as a kid. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And then yeah, I bought Luigi's Mansion like after I had gotten a Switch from 2019, because I was like, oh, I saw the co-op thing. I was gonna try to get my friend to get it with that 3DS XL so we could play Luigi's Mansion. Turns out the co-op's terrible because it's like laggy, but he never did, and I just ended up playing it. I never beat it on my 3DS. I only played it for 4 hours. Yeah, no, this was the start of a lot. I never got Xenoblade Chronicles. I recently tried playing this, and I need to go back to it. I need to give it a pretty solid shot. But yeah, no, that was always interesting, because like I remember I wanted that game just because this system. It was like one of the 2 fucking games I know of that were new 3DS exclusives. So I never went and played that. But now we're gonna move more towards present day, and here we have my latest excursion. My nostalgia bit me in the ass. I picked up a complete unbox. New 3DS XL. I don't even know what this colorway is called, like Crimson Red or something. No, that's what the DS Lite is. And yeah, this thing looks minty. I bought this used on eBay for a price that way too damn expensive, if I'm being honest with you. But you know, I shelled out a little bit extra so I can get some I know is in really nice condition. Complete unboxed is mainly a bonus. It still has like the NFC cards wrap, or not the NFC cards, the AR cards. I just read that and I got sidetracked. But the AR cards are wrapped in it, and the weirdest thing was that these things didn't come with a charger. I do remember that. I've had like an on Walmart brand charger for this thing for so long. When I ordered this one right here, that was the first time I'd gotten a first party 3DS charger, and one did come with this guy as well. But I remember, like I said, I wanted a 3DS XL the most, and it was out of my price range, and I was gonna get a 2DS, but I went with this. And I remember even like after this, I was really content at my age, because I was playing on this DS Lite before, and like look at the screen size of this thing, and then like you open this up and like, holy shit, dude, like that's a pretty big difference. Like it's widescreen, like this is a bigger console. I remember being like, yeah, this is a huge upgrade. Who needs a 3DS XL? Yeah, like even looking at, I think it's technically bigger than the standard 3DS too. Not by much, but yeah, it is just a tad bit bigger. But that was really cool, right? So I was like all for my 3DS, and I was like, I don't need an XL. Even now, like I haven't touched an XL since my friends when we played on the bus back in, or I guess before I've gotten this one. I hadn't touched an XL since I was on the bus with my friend. We're passing around 3D Land trying to beat the game. I was the one to beat the final special world, by the way, for him. So he's never gonna live that one down. If you know, you know. He might watch this, who knows. So I recently picked this up mainly because now with my bigger hands, as you can imagine, now that I'm used to the Switch and all that, like, this is still not an uncomfortable system. I want to put it as that. But the main thing is, like, yeah, the screens. Compare this to a Switch, and I've gotten used to big screens. I like my screen size, right? And yeah, my hands get a little cramped sometimes playing on this thing. And you know, like, there is my little things. I'm a big screen freak, so those scratches do bug me sometimes. And but yeah, like, I love this thing to death still. It was my first one, but yeah, I splurged to get. I was thinking about buying a brand new one. I could not justify the $900 price tag on one of those. I mean, I may at some point if I get stupid money somehow, but that's besides the point. But yeah, the whole thing with this, guys, this was like the model I truly wanted. Like, I mean, I would have wanted another red 3DS XL, and once I realized the new models were a thing, I would have wanted this one. Only thing I'm not too hyped about is the gloss finish on these things, but overall, like, you open this thing up and see my filthy fingerprints from playing it recently, but this thing's fresh. I put a screen protector on the top one, put a screen protector on the bottom one. I'm set this time, but this thing is huge compared to like what this is. And like I hold this, I'm like, this feels normal to me. This feels like what I'm used to. I still have not gotten used to holding this thing and like playing it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the gloss finish on the back. Kind of feels weird, but like this thing's pretty damn substantial. So I'm very excited about this. And yeah, this was like the model I always wanted essentially. And now I'm just finally getting it. Like, you look at the screen difference between these two things and oh my lord. Think like they advertised the normal 3DS, sorry, like my Final Fantasy VII custom theme. Can hear the music. But yeah, like compared to the original 3DS, like this is the same size as the normal 3DS XL. They didn't really do too much besides like add the C stick and the soldier buttons and
Soldier boy, tell.
Or shoulder buttons and the new processing power. But dude, this thing, they like said it's like 90% larger than that thing. It looks 90% larger. This thing's huge. But yeah, like they increased this a little bit, and like, yeah, this is totally fine, totally playable. And people were saying like, oh yeah, if you're playing this, like, some people had both of these back in the day, and they're like, oh, I use my 3DS XL whenever I'm playing like a action game, but if it's like Pokemon, I'll use my new 3DS. And you don't really notice the screen difference whenever you're out and about. And I'm like, dude, I picked these up and I just noticed it immediately. So I don't know what people are talking about. But, you know, this thing I was super excited about. I finally bit the bullet, bought a new 3DS XL, and I made sure it was in good condition. And we got a ton of games on there. I actually have a trip planned here soon, going to Orlando, Florida. And I plan on bringing this thing and trying to get one street pass is the goal. I'm there for a week, and I'm going to keep this in a backpack and sleep mode while at Universal and stuff. I get one street pass, I'll be good. I didn't get a lot of street passes back when this thing was popping, so who knows? That's just kind of my overall thoughts about the system, my experiences. And yeah, no, like, this thing holds a very special place in my heart. It was only my main like handheld for 2 years. Like, I got this Christmas 2016, got the Switch Christmas of 2018, and I just like never looked back. I never touched this thing after that. And if you were to ask me which one I prefer, it'd probably be the Switch. I mean, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, like, come on. But this thing has like a lot of gems on it. That's really why I think I want to go back and really revisit those things. And I got a 3DS XL to incentivize me to do it. Yeah, it was just one of those things that I wanted to check out the games for again and play some Ocarina of Time 3D, or even then I bought that on my N64 and I like the CRT look, but you know, it plays better on the 3DS. And Majora's Mask, and maybe try out some Xenoblade, get in the series that way, or even Animal Crossing New Leaf. I haven't ever played an Animal Crossing game, so there's a ton of games I want to try on this thing. I'm looking forward to. I think that week-long trip will help me kind of do that, because I plan on only bringing this in my laptop and kind of vlogging that Street Pass thing and just what I'm playing. So stick around if you're interested in that, but this was kind of my overly long look at my DS history, and it was more of a ramble, so sorry if my thoughts are scattered. I haven't done one of these before. I'll get better at it. But yeah, just kind of wanted to take a look at all this stuff, and you know what? The DS is so cool. It was my like first real handheld outside the Game Boy Color, but this is my first brand new handheld, and you know what? They still stick with me. I just got another one, and yeah, I plan on doing more collecting for the 3DS too. If there's any games you want me to take a look at, maybe make some videos on, make sure to let me know, because I can do that and I can capture footage for them now, which is awesome. yeah, so let me know. Also, let me know if you like this style of video. I can look back at other consoles too. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff. I actually am gonna make a Switch one here soon when the Switch 2 does get that like whole reveal trailer. So be on the lookout for that. So it's kind of my look back at the DS line of systems. I don't have a DSi, I won't get one. They're stupid. All right, now that's a bold claim, but I mean, like, why would you need one? If you got a 3DS, you have the DSi. They don't even have the online stuff anymore. I may want a DSi XL just for the native plain DS things, but now I'm just rambling yet again. So, okay, this has been the Pixel Critic. Thanks for tuning in. Let go.